What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another episode of Ahead of the Game Podcast. We got another Raiders reaction, and let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into it. I think that the game has passed Pete Carroll. The game it passed him a long time ago, and I think that's why I got rid of him in Seattle. And I think the game has passed him. The roster that they constructed, him and John Spytek, this is a new NFL. You can't put past their prime players and backup players in starting roles. And these are players that we depend on. I have no beef with none of the players, but guys like Devin White, Jamal Adams, Landon Roberts, Jeremy Chin, Caillou Blue, Kelly, guys like that, they are situational players. They are not starters to play the whole game defensively. The roster was constructed based on players that have a chip on their shoulder, that, everybody counted them out, and, pretty much, offensively, you're relying on guys like Geno Smith, Meredith at center, goddamn Donald Parham, and we're relying on guys that are either backups or situational players. And again, Pete Carroll has built his rosters like that in the past. Get players that nobody really, depended on or counted on, or lower draft picks, and build his roster like that. It's a new NFL. I think the game has passed Pete Carroll a long time ago, and I think Seattle's seen the writing on the wall, and that's why I think that they let him go, because he did the same thing in Seattle with his roster. Today's game versus the Colts, it is a coaching issue, because the team wasn't this bad last year. I mean, I'm not talking about record wise. I'm just talking about competing wise. I think that the whole coaching staff, it's washed out now. Chip Kelly, his offense doesn't work. It hasn't worked since Oregon. Patrick Graham, I love Patrick Graham to death, but how many times are you going to run cover 3, cover 2? How many times are you going to have soft coverage where they can just sit in the hole? We can't get a pass rush. I think Malcolm Kuntz is a hell of a player when he's healthy, but I don't think he's the same player. And I think for Maxx Crosby, I love Maxx Crosby to death. I love him as a player. I love him as a Raider, but me being, the football fan, and ultimately me playing the game of football, not at this highest level, I think it's time for Maxx to probably move on. I mean, as a fan, do I want to see him move on? No, but I think at this time, at this point in your career, year after year, I think it's probably time for him to move on and go to a winner, go to a winning organization. You know what I mean? And this isn't the fan in me talking. This is me watching as, somebody that's played the game, all the way up to the college level or whatever, and just wanting to win. And I think at this time, for Maxx, I think it's time for him to want to go to a winner. He's playing every snap. He's playing his ass off. He's doing everything to win games, but year after year, it's the same thing. They just don't put together a good team, a good roster. And for Maxx, if Maxx does see this video, I think it's time for you to go to a winning program or a winning organization, because you deserve that, man. It's a lot of players that don't, that whine and cry and stuff like that. But I think it's time for Maxx to go to a winning program or a winning organization to have a chance to be playing in the playoffs and for championships, because that's the type of player, that he is on every Sunday. But this game versus the Colts, it's not even this game. It's been the whole season. We're making quarterbacks look like prime Tom Brady. No pressure. They're doing whatever they want to do up and down the field. Mind you, Jonathan Taylor didn't even go off. It was Daniel fucking Jones sitting in the pocket, no pressure. Up, cover 2. Up, cover 3. Up, they're blitzing. It's just too easy for every team that the Raiders play. Is too easy. And at this point, I think it's a coaching problem, and I think it's a roster problem. Again, you built this roster based on players that have a chip on their shoulder that nobody wanted, and you have them in starting roles when they are not starters. in this league anymore. They are situational players, offensively and defensively. And offensively, you spent no money. I don't know what to say offensively. Offensively, you the offensive line is terrible. You're depending on rookies to be, your number one targets, and Dante Thornton and Jack Besh, and you don't really get Jacoby Myers involved. And we're so invested in Ashton Genty that we want to get him the ball every play. And Geno Smith is who I thought he was. Geno Smith is just a guy. I love the way that he came back or whatever, but this is Geno Smith. It was points in times where he is missing wide open receivers and throwing it into double coverage. This is what I mean when I say that we're putting players that are not starters in this league. They are situational players. Geno Smith has thrown 9 interceptions in 5 games. 4 or 5 games. I don't know how many games we played so far. I don't know how long it is before you bench this guy. And the loyalty that Pete Carroll shows to Geno Smith is insane. He should have been benched in the 3rd quarter. And this is what I mean. The game has passed Pete Carroll up immensely. It has passed him up long time ago. And that's why Seattle, they seen the writing on the wall. He has this loyalty to players that is insane. And to not want to bench your quarterback because that's the guy that you wanted over here and you signed and trade for him is just a disgrace. Watching this team, it's a coaching issue and a roster issue. And again, I don't want to see another coach come in another year, but I think it's time we need to get younger, we need to get innovative, and we need to build a roster. I don't know what they're going to do after this season because this season is over. This team is a complete disaster. And I don't know where they will go after this. You're 1-4. Your quarterback is just throwing the ball in a double coverage, missing wide open people. He's calculating his throws before he hikes the ball. Defensively, we have, again, situational players playing starting roles, and it's not going to work in this NFL. That's not how it's not going to work. You need to build your roster younger, faster, quicker, more athletic. We have a lot of old guys on our roster defensively. Offensively, we have no spark. We have no want to move people on the offensive line. And we're depending on late round draft picks to get the job done. That's not how you build a roster. And again, Spytek, it's just his first year being a GM, but you have everybody in your corner that you could possibly have, especially Tom Brady, who knows how to build a winner, because everybody knows when whoever was on that field with Tom Brady, he wanted them on the field. So I believe he has everybody in his corner, and I believe they're just sitting on all this money just because they don't want to spend money on players, which this is you have to spend money on players league. And watching this game, it's not too much to take away from it. They got 40 ball. You had your starters in at the end of the game when the game is well in hand. I think this is a coaching issue and a roster issue, and the game has passed Pete Carroll a long time ago. All that compete bullshit, you put the best 11 players offensively and defensively on that field. Jackson Powers Johnson shouldn't have to compete with Alex Kappa. It's just Chip Kelly hasn't been successful in the NFL except for 1 year. And this is the guy that we're depending on. Geno Smith is an okay quarterback. He's not a game changer. He's a game manager. Shout out Cam Newton. He's right. He can manage the game. He's not gonna change the game. This is another year where, again, our season is over week 4, 5, 6. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what direction they're going to go in. And again, I'm going to tell, Maxx, if Maxx Crosby, if he wants to move on at this point, I wouldn't be mad. He is the ultimate Raider. He is the ultimate player. He wants to win where the team that drafted him, but it comes to a certain point in time of your career where you got to look and say, okay, it's not working. And I can't be here to tear it down again, have another coach again, have all this again, and wait and see what happens. So if Maxx wants to get out of there, I think as fans, I think you got to respect that, man. Because everybody, if you've played sports, you want to win. And year after year, you can't just sit there and wait and see. The game has passed Pete Carroll. Spytek, as the GM, he's taking advice from other people and not building how he wants to build this team. He's just signing players to one-year deals that want to prove themselves to stay in the league. And today showed it. What was the point of passing on Shedeur Sanders if we're not gonna play the guys that we drafted? We had five rounds to pick him. He will be playing right now, but no. I don't want him. Let's not take a quarterback at all. Let's not spend no money at all on this roster. Let's just go into the season and see what happens. And we're getting dominated. That's the word of this game, domination. Again, this was the Head of Game podcast. This is my rant. If you're a Raider fan, let me know in the comments how you guys are feeling. I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad because this is what I expect. I knew we were going to get blasted. It's just too easy for teams. It's too easy. Offensively, defensively, special teams is fucking a disaster. I don't even want to get started with them. But again, Head of the Game podcast. Raider fans, football fans, and all. Let me know what you guys feel in the comments. This was another episode of Head of the Game podcast. Appreciate you guys listening to my rant. I'll be back again next week. We will see what happens. Appreciate you guys on the next one.